Okay, we've all been there, right? You've taken off your shoes, you've put your laptop in a bin, you've stood in that giant glass tube with your hands over your head. We all know the dance. And yeah, it feels like this massive, inconvenient routine. But while you're busy worrying about that water bottle you might have forgotten, there's this whole complex web of physics, AI, and behavioral science working at lightning speed. So let's peel back that curtain and really see the incredible science that's keeping you safe up there.
For most of us, that security line just feels like a huge bottleneck. And you've probably heard people call it security theater. The idea that it's all just for show. But honestly, calling it theater completely misses what's actually happening. What you're really walking through is one of the most sophisticated, multi-layered systems of science and technology on the planet.
You see, airport security isn't just one single wall you have to get through. A better way to think about it is as a series of layered and mostly invisible filters. And each one is designed to catch what the one before it might have missed. And believe it or not, it all starts way before you even start packing your bags. No, really, the second you book that flight, your name is automatically being checked and cross-referenced against global watch lists and all sorts of databases. It's the very first layer, and it's completely invisible to you. It's designed to flag any potential concerns long before you even set foot in the airport.
But, okay, the real heavy-duty science kicks in at the security checkpoint itself. Those gray bins, they're not just there to keep your stuff from getting jumbled up. They are basically the official entry point into what I can only describe as a high-tech laboratory.
So let's talk about the big one, the baggage scanner. Most modern airports are using something called a dual-energy X-ray system. As your bag rolls on through, it gets zapped with not one, but two different X-ray frequencies. Now, why two? Well, it all comes down to a really cool principle. Different materials absorb those X-rays in very different ways.
And this is basically what the security agent sees on their screen. The system automatically color codes everything for them. So you see that orange color? That flags organic materials, which can be harmless stuff like food, but also things like explosives or drugs. Green is for inorganic stuff, glass or lighter metals. And then you have that deep blue or even solid black. That means something is very, very dense, like a gun or a big battery.
But a flat 2D image can only show you so much. And that's why the latest and greatest tech is computed tomography, or CT scanning. It's just like a medical CT scan. The machine takes hundreds of pictures as your bag goes through, and it builds a complete 3D digital model. This is the big reason why at some airports you can finally leave your laptops and your liquids in your bag. The computer can digitally spin the bag around, look at everything from every angle, and calculate the exact density to make sure it's all safe.
And then, of course, there's you, that big glass tube, the body scanner. That's using millimeter wave technology. It sends out completely harmless electromagnetic waves that bounce right off your skin. But if they hit something else under your clothes, they bounce back differently. An AI analyzes all those reflections and, this is the important part, it flags any weird spots on a generic, privacy-safe avatar. That way, it can show an officer exactly where they need to check without showing them, well, you.
All right, so have you ever been the person they pull aside to swab your hands or your bag with that little white patch? Well, that machine it goes into is a trace explosives detector. And what's wild is that it's not actually looking for a bomb. It's looking for the microscopic ghost of one.
The science behind this is just so clever. It turns out that molecules from explosive compounds are unbelievably sticky. If someone has even just handled certain chemicals, these tiny, microscopic particles can hang around on their skin, their clothes, or a bag zipper for days on end, even if they've washed their hands.
And the sensitivity of these detectors is, well, it's just staggering. They can pick up on these particles down to 1 part per billion. Let me say that again, 1 part per billion. To give you an idea of what that means, it's like finding a single drop of ink in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's that precise.
You can think of it as a high-tech mechanical nose, one that's thousands upon thousands of times more sensitive than any human's or even a trained dog's nose. It's just an incredible piece of chemical-sniffing tech.
But maybe the most advanced piece of technology in the whole airport isn't a machine at all. It's the people. The final, and you could argue the most important layer of security is the highly trained human element.
Now, it's really important to get this right. These specialized behavior detection officers are not just looking for people who seem nervous. Come on, let's face it, pretty much everyone is a little bit nervous at the airport.
They're actually trained to spot involuntary microexpressions and other tiny physiological tells that might indicate someone is trying to deceive or conceal something.
So when you step back and you look at the whole thing, you really see the full picture. You've got the pre-screening from the databases. You've got the advanced bag scans, the body scanners, those super sensitive trace detectors, and then finally, the trained eyes of the officers themselves. It's a deeply layered system where if any one component fails, another one is right there to back it up.
So, the next time you're standing in that security line and you're starting to feel that familiar sense of annoyance, just take a second to look around. You're not just in a queue. You're actually walking through one of the most sophisticated, concentrated, scientific environments on the face of the Earth. And it's all designed for one single purpose: to make sure your biggest worry is whether or not you'll get the window seat. So we've covered how you're kept safe on the ground. But what about once you're up in the air? Have you ever just stared out the window at that massive engine and wondered, how does that thing actually defy gravity? Well, we're going to break down the amazing physics of jet propulsion in our next explainer. Until then, safe travel.